those meetings on Zoom during
Oh,
COVID,
goodness.
and people would think they were muted, or they'd be muted and see the
and
mouth moving,
You're like, can you please mute?
Worked both ways.
Yeah, try doing it with kids. That was fun.
I'm texting the artist at the meeting now, smiles all around.
Well, we've got a quorum, and I guess we're ready to start here. So, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right. I pledge
Allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you going to be speaking? Yeah, okay. So, you're up.
Amber Stevens, 318 Lafayette Boulevard. So good evening. I just wanted to share a brief update. I recently announced that I'm going to be running the special election for Oldsmar here in August for seat 3. So I felt that was important to share here, given my history. I helped serve on the art task force, which kind of helped set the framework for this board, and Michael and I were a part of that, so excited for all of you to be up here for that. And I've been honored to serve on the art selection committee, where we got the art at the Sparks Complex. So these experiences gave me a deeper appreciation of all the arts, the culture, and thoughtful design here in Oldsmar in our community. So regardless of the outcome of this election, I have true respect for this board and truly appreciate all the work you do. So I just want to thank you for that and keep shaping the quality and vibrantness that you have going on this board. I truly appreciate all your hard work. So just wanted to say that, and thank you for doing all the work that you do.
And that's coming up when, in March?
August.
Oh, August. Yeah,
And the
Thank you
heat.
for stepping up.
yeah.
Thank you.
Takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication.
Appreciate it. All right. And great job to you, Michael. I'm glad that you're serving as chair. You're doing a
Thank you.
phenomenal
Thank
job.
you. It's a team effort here. We got a lot of
All of
people,
you.
Doing
yes.
great.
a lot of expertise here.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Amber.
So we don't have any future leaders, right, tonight, at least so far?
Well, we have some future, really future leaders.
And what are your kids' names, Amber?
This is Hannah Rose.
Hannah
and
Rose,
She
that's
was our
right.
youngest art for the hearts back in, was it March,
Oh,
April?
Yeah.
And
She
this
is,
is my son, Steve,
Ah,
6 years old, and my oldest is Holly.
yep.
welcome.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you for coming, Steve.
Thanks for bringing your sketchbook, it looks like.
So we'll start with the agenda. First thing is to approve the minutes of our last meeting in November 20th of last year. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second? Okay, motion approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Oh,
in
do we
favor?
have to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No.
Motion carries.
Okay, motion passes. Second item is consideration of excused absence from November 20 for Member Hubbard, medical emergency. Do I have a motion to excuse?
Make your first motion, Jim.
Yes.
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 I'll second.
Second, okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Okay, motion passes. Number 3, we have Ms. Judith Woodward has decided to step down, so we don't have to go
Oh,
through.
she did?
Yes. So she is going to be stepping down, and our alternate is going to be moving up initially.
Stuck with me now.
Yeah, yes. Yes. And she needs to be formally approved by the city council in
I know,
February.
moving up in the world.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to do anything there. No. Okay. Now we get to old business. Number 4 is the Tico Hall restoration. I don't think there's anything new there.
Well, I would like to report on something.
Okay.
After discussions with the city manager, I think the board had recommended that we do a full restoration. But technically, it's really not a restoration. It is a digital capture and then reprint of the painting in Tico Hall, the Ari Olds, the original from 1918. So what I've had some discussions with Faith and have gotten some different pricing. We want to capture it digitally because eventually it will disintegrate because it's on paper. I mean, that's, I've had several restorers come out and they're all kind of about it, they don't know what they could or couldn't do. So what I would recommend to this board to approve is that we have them come out, that we got a bid for, I think it's $1,237 for them to bring the equipment out, do a digital capture, leave the current painting intact where it is. Eventually, it will deteriorate. It may be well past when any of us are around, but that's neither here nor there. And then we will have a digital copy that we will own. We can reprint it at that time. We can do some colorization through AI, which we actually experimented with it, and it's really a lot more exciting than the existing painting. So that is what I would recommend, and that would also free up some additional money for us to have a new project this year. So I think it's kind of a winning strategy all the way around. So unless the board has some strong objections to it, that's what I would recommend, that we go ahead and
Is Faith's
do that.
company going to do the digital, or is it someone else?
No, Faith's company will do the digitalization, I don't know whatever that word is, and so they'll still, be involved in it, and then we will actually own a digitized version of the painting. So I think it's a winner that way, I really do.
How does
So
that
do we-
exactly work? How do we own it?
Apparently, they put a camera on a track, basically, so that they can capture the whole thing. Beyond that, don't ask me. I have no idea what
But
they do.
does it go into a vault, or where does it go?
Well, we would own it. I mean, we would
Own
keep
it,
it.
then
It
we
would be
can print it.
maintained probably in the clerk's office or with the historical collection. More
Okay.
likely, it would probably end up there, but we would have it when we need to actually reprint.
I think you were asking how to store, where it will be stored, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
What's
digital
that? I'm sorry.
file.
Digital, so in the cloud.
He's asking, will they put it in some kind of drive? What media are they going to use to store it on?
I think we're getting like a thumb drive or something like that. I'm not.
And that was for $12.50, you said?
It was under 1250. It was like 1237, I think, something like that. Yeah.
So that's something we should put on when Faith is back, have it as something that we can vote on and get that moving along, right?
I don't
Or
think we
can
even need to vote on it.
now?
If you all are in, because I've had
We
lots
voted
of.
on it right now.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
make a
she can't
motion.
vote on that in any event
Oh,
because
right.
it's her company.
Right.
I think if this board moves ahead with it, we can get going on it.
I'll make a motion to go forward with the 1237 or they're somewhere in there to make a digital copy of it. I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay. It moves forward, passes. Okay, we get to the Sheffield Park mural restoration.
So happy. Okay, so it's been a little bit of a lot of going back and forth with Noel and I because it was originally an installation with the North Pinellas Cultural Alliance, which was a nonprofit that didn't have all of the rules that a city does, but now that we're dealing with taxpayer dollars, we have to follow the rules of the city. So it took us quite a while to, thank you, Barbara, for helping, and Joan, and to get the liability insurance, and that's going to be solidified in the next couple of days. And then, thank you, City of Oldsmar, for deciding that we didn't have to do the auto liability, since she's not going to be using the car in the commission of the artwork. She's going to drive the car to the lot, then we're going to do the artwork. Because we tried all over the country and we couldn't find anybody to add the City of Oldsmar as an additional insured on an auto policy for somebody who doesn't even live in Florida. So that just got taken care of today, so that's good. We she's all booked, we got her airline ticket booked, and I will be asking, though, since things are costing more than she had anticipated, I will be asking for people to help with the liability insurance, if anybody has a few extra dollars, $50, $100, whatever. It's gonna be about $300. She said that she will donate an original signed artwork in the value of the donation and be along with Sherwin-Williams and the Holiday Inn as sponsors of the project. So if you guys know anybody, please let me know, or let Joan know so Joan can let me know. That would be very helpful. I'm on Social Security, or else I'd pay for it, but I can chip in a little bit, but not 300.
Can't we include that in the budget?
No, it's not to exceed $4,000. We approved not to exceed $4,000.
And we can't make it a.
What are we at? What amount are we at?
Well, she needs about $300 for the liability
4,300.
insurance. We're $300.
okay.
So we can't amend the budget?
I don't think so.
No, that would mean
That would mean
crafting
all
a
the
new
paperwork
agreement and
all
getting it
over again.
signed and back. The cities wanted to do it as a lump sum.
Right.
And they don't care how it gets divided up. Basically, it covers everything, materials, the materials get donated. So that's wonderful. That's a cost that doesn't come into play. But no, I can't imagine, at this point, it's too late.
And it's too close to when it's going to be done. She's flying in. We got her flying in on the 13th and flying home on February 13th, flying in. Okay, so if anybody's interested, she's flying in on the 13th. We're not going to paint on the 13th. We're going to start on, Valentine's Day, but I'll be there. I don't have a boyfriend or a husband. I'll be painting butterflies. So we're going to be painting on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and she flies home on Thursday. So if anybody, hopefully everybody, anybody that can make it, please come. And, if you want to pick up a paintbrush and paint a little bit of a butterfly, Noelle and I'm sure Noelle would love it. So it'll be the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th are the painting days. The 13th and the 19th are travel days. So we're we're just so excited because we've been working so hard to get everything, all the ducks in the row, because this is the first restoration in, I don't know, I've never heard of a restoration. And like Barbara pointed out, there's not going to be a lot, we're going to be painting over murals. We're not going to be continuing to restore murals forever. So this is really exciting. And I have a couple of contacts in the press, and I'm going to ask them to come out and cover it. And that will be good, good publicity for the city of Oldsmar, for the arts, so, it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, maybe we can put it in the Oldsmar book. Or
Yeah. Well, Joan can
What's
probably
that? I'm
find that
sorry.
out.
Put it in the monthly Oldsmar,
Oh, yeah, in the news, yeah.
on the news.
Yeah, we'll probably send a photographer out anyway from from the public communications to get some pictures, because we like to
Now,
do
painting
that.
days are 13, 14, and 15?
It's easy to remember Valentine's Day, okay, because she's flying in on the 13th, so
Oh,
we're not going to
okay.
paint on the 13th. So Saturday is Valentine's Day, and that's the 14th. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No,
So
those are going to be the painting days.
painting days, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and she flies home on the 19th. So I don't know if the city wanted to do any kind of little, ribbon thing on the last day. I don't know.
I'll talk with.
That might be nice,
yeah,
right?
with Deb.
Get it a little bit more publicity and, But she is very, very, very happy.
Good.
And it's our first official thing that this board is doing. It's so cool.
Well, you can count on me for 50, I'll put in 50
Oh,
bucks.
thank you. April 50.
That was going to be my next question. Well, I have two questions. Do you know what the hours are going to be of the painting time? Like till dark, or are you going to stop at 5 or 3 or?
Probably, it's gonna be until whenever we get tired, I'm thinking, so
Okay.
probably till dark,
'Cause I
Probably,
would love to come, but I'll be actually I'll be at a dance competition with my daughter, but then I'll be at school, but if I could come after school or something.
what time does school end?
For me, I'm done 3:30.
Yeah. Can she text me, I'm on my way to, or is that not allowed?
I think.
Because it's not anything we're voting on anymore.
You can text me and.
You can text me.
I'll text.
Okay.
Just
I'll
let
get
me
phone
know
numbers
what
or
day and I'll
something.
make sure we're there.
Okay.
I'll make
see
sure with
what I
her,
can
because it's
do.
gonna be up to Noelle. I'm her assistant, it's gonna be completely up to her.
Okay.
I'm fine with painting, but, unless it rains or whatever.
And then my next question was, when you're saying about the 300 and like you're chipping in 50, I mean, I could definitely do 50. But are we asking like us or?
Anybody, I'm
'Cause, like,
looking
who else
for,
can, yeah,
well,
who else can contribute?
anybody that can contribute. I've got a couple rich friends that I can call, but I want to wait because we have elections coming up and I know those rich friends might be donating to elections. So I'm going to wait to call them and ask them for it until I see if I get anybody that'll sponsor it. So we got 100 of the 3, so we're getting there.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if you know anybody, and they will receive a piece of artwork, okay, signed by her
Okay.
in the value of the donation. So, yeah, which is kind of cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, and she's a great artist.
Cool. No, I love that.
Any other discussion on that? Okay, so we're all set. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is the old stage murals. And
Yeah, I did some research on different, I think we're gonna end up spending a few $100s on the clear coat. We'll be able to use a very fine sandpaper to sand off the areas where some of the coating is peeling. And I think if you're up for it, I think you and I should probably do that, because I don't know that the guys in facilities will be as gentle as we would like them to be. But they can apply, there's no reason that they can't apply the clear coat. You can, I went to Home Depot and Lowe's and online, and it's expensive for the UV coating and the graffiti.
I can get it cheaper from Sherwin.
If you can get it through Sherwin-Williams, everybody seems to make some version
Yeah,
of
we
it.
need anti-graffiti, UV protect.
So after this is finished, this restoration, then that'll be the next project to get that
Are
going.
we gonna need the lift like we needed?
Yes.
Okay, so the
Oh, yeah.
facilities can bring the lift out, you and I can get up there, do this, we can do the sanding and we can do
Yeah.
this. It doesn't have to be an airless sprayer, it can be one of those little, to spray that on, it can be one of those little pump sprayers.
The hand, yeah,
So, yeah, so we can sand it, then clean off the dust and
yeah. But we're only talking a few $100s, so we should, between that and the reduction in the cost of the restoration of the Tico Hall painting and the 4,000 we're spending, we should end up with, $22,000, $23,000 to do a new project in the current year, so that's kind of
That's
exciting.
awesome.
yeah, that's great. So you're thinking $200 for that, roughly?
A few hundred, no, I think it's gonna be, I would probably plan $500.
That's what I was gonna say.
For the
Plan
materials.
500
If
just
it's
in
less
case.
than that, wonderful, but
Right.
One never knows.
And as long as parks, they bring out the lift,
yeah.
and, yeah, because then, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that brings us to our new business section. And Judith was going to do this on the public funding, but she's not with us any longer, so we'll have to figure out someone else to get involved in that. By the way, does anybody want to get involved in that? Do a report or a study on public funding opportunities?
I'm gonna say-
It's a big ask, I know, but, okay, well, we'll
I
figure
can
that
look
out, I
into
guess.
it.
Jim, go
Hey, peer
Jim,
pressure.
go
I wanted everyone
Jim.
else to like have their say first, but I was like, oh, I'm interested, but okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I want you to get involved with me on the marketing side.
Oh,
though, so,
totally,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So, Jim, all right, fabulous, Jim, thanks. And we have Chris here, Christopher, on, you sent us something in on that.
Yes.
I'd like to kind of list, if you can go a little bit more detail on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't get anything.
Yeah,
You got
last-
an email?
no,
Oh, last time.
Last time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
so dollar for dollar, leasing temporary artwork is extremely cost effective. Especially if you plan out the rotation cycle, the visibility areas, what kind of artist as far as size of artwork that you want to attract. And if you invest in a appropriate, proper, and good compensation, you'll get a lot of interest from artists that are able to loan some of their nicer pieces, if you will. In doing the research, I looked about, I think it was 15 cities that I looked at. They were around the country. I just went on Call for Entry and CodaWorks and checked out their call for artist application listings for temporary exhibitions. And I saw anywhere from $500 to $1,500. In the most, I was seeing 2,000. In Clearwater, when I was working on Sculpture 360, which was our temporary exhibition, we offered up to 3,000, depending on how far the artist was going to come. Because it is an investment for them in transporting the work, and that can be pricey. So it's really a kind of spinning wheel of different areas of how much do we want to invest, how far do we want to go out as far as regional, geographically, the net that we want to cast. But there are a lot of artists, say, in the Southeast, that could make an easy trip here to Oldsmar to loan their work for a year. That seems to be the most common. There are also longer term. I saw a year and a half to 2 years. In the infancy of the program, I would recommend changing it more often. That gives you more interest, more news stories, more publicity, more local interest of people of what's coming next. You want to leave the excitement of a new sculpture, let it live here for a while, be a part of the community, and then with that interest, have the community be part of the selection for the next piece. And so, that's kind of my recommendation is if we have the capability, maybe we don't have to do a lot or multiple installations or rentals for the first exhibition. Maybe start at one, expand it out in future years, or do two. But it does have a lot of potential to it. It does represent a wise, affordable investment in getting the ball rolling.
How expensive, how much
Yeah,
did you spend on preparing the site? Because you have to prepare the concrete pad and lighting for whatever piece that you're going to put up. Approximately what can you plan to?
Oh, gosh. I mean, this is going maybe 10 years back now at this point, so, or maybe even 12, it was about 2,000 per pad that we did. And the pads were 6 foot by 9 foot by 6 inches.
Okay.
They were reinforced with rebar and fiber mesh. I had artists tell me that they were really pleased with the pad because it was strong. And you can get a lot of mileage out of those pads if you build them correctly the first time. Sure. It is more expensive to put the rebar and the fiber mesh into the pad. But, I mean, as far as remembering, we did multiple years of anchored pieces, and we didn't run into an issue with anchoring as far as going over previous works. And we were able to accommodate a really large range of sculpture with those dimensions. Now, you could do 6 foot by 6 foot. It all depends on the space you have available. We were somewhat limited in the sense that the area we were building for had finite dimensions. So we had to fit the pad inside the lifted area. However, I would say 6 foot by 6 foot would accommodate a very wide range of styles.
Christopher,
Yes.
about how much time would you have devoted to managing that program?
It's waxes and wanes. There's the initial investment of the call to artists, the review, the selection, and then the coordination of logistics. It does take a good amount of effort to get all of the insurance in place, to get the contract reviewed, to get the artist booked and installed, because we did have to lean on the city for technical help. If I tried to crunch it in, I would say at the front and the back, the front would be a few weeks worth of work. The back end, 2 weeks, as far as pickup and deinstall. So it would take someone a concerted effort to get it up off the ground. However, once those trails have been blazed and they don't change, it would not be as difficult in the future.
What about community involvement? Don't we have to, if we're gonna put it on one of the places we outlined as possibilities for art, don't those people that live there have to get involved?
We would like them to be involved. I think more importantly, we'd like
You have
them to
get
be
the community
involved.
involved and-
This was downtown, so we didn't have any immediate residences aside from condos. The folks that lived in the area were interested in it, but they didn't participate so far in the installation or the selection. What we did was, because it was downtown, we had representatives from the Downtown Development Board on the selection panel. So there was a voice from the local ownership. Now, perhaps, you want to poll the residents and see the folks that are nearby if they want to be part of it. But I wouldn't hinge the success on them participating.
No,
You know, I would just open the field and see if they want to. I don't think it's a requirement to do it,
I think public participation is kind
Right.
of the Oldsmar way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emphasis on involving, and then there's a lot of ownership.
Yeah.
As a result, a lot of, enthusiasm and ownership for what we do. I mean, that certainly worked well with the sports complex.
Oh, it was so great
project.
having the sports guys on the board for that. That was good.
Yeah. I think if you open it up to folks, encourage them, this is your opportunity to participate. Make sure that they're aware of it, and then just keep that communication open of, here's what's coming down the line, here's what we're looking at selecting, here's when it's going to arrive. Those kind of things for the folks that maybe they want to participate, but they're on the edge, they can still be informed and feel like they're part of the process.
But when does that happen? That happens before we even start, or?
Oh, yeah, I think once we establish that if we want to proceed with a leasing program, I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this, there's a lot of pieces to this, then we would put in place a public engagement piece or community engagement piece that would involve them. But until we know the direction that we're going, how many pieces, where we're going to put them, all the there's a lot of effort that goes into preparing to get people to come and then be involved in the selection is almost in some ways the easy part of the whole process. Would you agree with that?
It can be and it can't
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
But that's the fun part,
Yep,
with all of the infrastructure that you have to do, it takes some time. Now, I am happy to volunteer help in getting that set up. I don't want to step on toes and say, I can do as much as Oldsmar is willing to
Got it.
be open for, since I've done it before. I'm open to that.
Did you, when you did leasing for, say, for example, for City of Clearwater, you had a certain number of pieces that you were leasing. Did you stagger the lease arrangement so that only some pieces, like maybe some were on an 18-month cycle, some were on a 12-month cycle, so that you had
We're not at the
new
same
pieces?
We did eventually.
Okay.
Originally, we did the 3 at a time, and that's,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. Because you're closing down streets, you're getting, in some cases, heavy lifting devices, cranes, whatnot. And so, it was a little bit of herding cats to try and get that done in a similar time. Now, if you do want to stagger them out, that's a great idea, because it does, again, build up that enthusiasm. When
infusion
is the
of
next one
something
coming?
new,
And things like that. So, I mean, it's all in the desire of the community. Do you want to see them all at the same time? Do you want to see them in 6-month increments and things like that? So you have, what's great about this is there's a lot of flexibility, and it's tailored to the community.
And it seems like the price is right.
It can be, yeah, yeah.
So let me go over those numbers again. So 3,000 roughly per year?
It's
For the
all up to
lease?
the community. You know, it's, you can do 3,000, you can do 2,000, you can do 1,000. I'm just saying, the geographic range and the diversity and quality of the work is very much tied to what you offer. So it's just what is palatable to, I guess, us making a recommendation, but also, you know, what funds we have available. You know, if we can limit it to 1, we can do 2. It's wide open right now.
Yeah.
This is blue sky thinking, you know.
So the foundation would be roughly, let's say the foundation is going to be 3,000 now with inflation. You mentioned 3,000, right? Ones you did?
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So on a worst-case scenario, 3,000. Then what about the liability insurance? You even know what that is?
I have
Getting
no
getting
idea.
liability insurance for
Yeah.
a short-term project is almost impossible. I mean, it's $1,000, because you have to buy a year policy. I didn't have a lot of time to talk to Noelle about who she ended up with and how much it's gonna be, but she said it's really good news. It's gonna be 250 to 300. I don't have the final figures, but I did find somebody who would do it, so I'll find out. And then, you know, but yeah, liability insurance, to add the city as an additional insured, that's the big deal. And it makes sense. If a resident got hurt on that concrete, they could sue the city of Oldsmar, not the artist.
Right.
You know, so, yeah, it could be $1,000, you know,
Do you
unless.
remember what it was for the last, for the sports facility?
It was no, well, Lena and Gus had to pay for that.
The artist paid for it.
Yeah,
They
it was
were
about-
responsible until it was turned over to us.
Yeah, it was $1,000 for Ari Olds, and that was in 2016. So you're looking at an easy $1,000.
Now,
But
some
in a
artists,
leasing deal, they're not going to be responsible for that. We would have to pony up that money.
Oh,
I'm
good
assuming.
question. Do we need to have liability insurance for the whole entire time of the loan? Because residents could get hurt on the piece of artwork, and the artist isn't gonna wanna pay for it because he's loaning the art.
so
So it would come out of our money.
Yeah.
Good question.
part of that can be discussed with the city. You know, is the city open to self-insuring during the time of the exhibition? Can the city do that?
I don't think
You
so.
know,
They might have a blanket policy. We don't know.
there's a lot of moving gears as far as what to consider.
Right.
You know, in the case of an artist bringing down their work, they're driving their auto. So the automobile liability does come into,
We just had that
Because
discussion.
I remember though from your,
In their vehicle.
from,
Okay, I see. So you're saying their automobile liability comes into play because they're bringing a large piece here. That's probably true.
on the back of
So
their.
they would have, but the city isn't involved yet until they come into the city and install. So that, there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot
There's
of
a lot of
moving
questions
parts.
that have to be researched.
Yeah, all right, so,
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have any awareness of companies that might have a catalog of art and to lease, and then they bring it around and place it in different places?
Good question. There are agencies that charge commission for an artist to be represented, you know, almost like an art agent, essentially. They coordinate with artists for that. Let me take a look.
And what I'm asking is a little bit different, because at one point I was aware of a company that it did represent artists, but it had a catalog and they just sort of traveled, those pieces traveled all, sort of on a regular basis. And so
Right.
took away some of the administrative weight.
Let me look into that.
I wouldn't doubt
Yeah.
that exists, yeah. Wow,
Thank
that's,
you.
that's great, yeah. Yeah, yeah, if you want to take over, that'd be fabulous too,
I'm,
if we go that route.
I'm offering my time and experience, and I'll let the city tell me how much they need. So,
Okay, good, all right. So now it's up to me. On the last meeting, I kind of went over what corporate sponsors are looking for, okay, in terms of funding or corporate sponsorships. And so this time, what I did is I put together a tactical plan that kind of takes you through the whole process of what we're going to be looking at here. And this plan outlines strategies to secure corporate funding and sponsorships for public art initiatives. It leverages CSR alignment, which is corporate social responsibility. So a lot of your national and regional companies have CSR programs that require them also to be community responsible. And a lot of that is art, donations, other types of donations that they do. Brand visibility and community engagement. Market trends, corporations increasingly invest in cultural projects to enhance brand reputation and fulfill these CSR goals. Target audience for us is going to be the large companies that do have these CSR programs, which are the national and regional companies, and then, of course, the local businesses. The goals and objectives, I'm thinking about raising $60,000 in sponsorships within 12 months. Securing 30 corporate sponsors across different tiers, and achieving 20% increase in community engagement metrics. The 60,000 is just a number I put out there. We'd have to kind of figure out if that's too aggressive, not aggressive enough. I'm not exactly sure if that's a good number.
I've seen just about every number that you can possibly, I'm sure anybody who's been in this, today I just saw something from someplace on the East Coast, I can't remember what city it was, it was 95,000, Orange County just put out a call for artists, and they were offering, I think the budget was over $100,000 for an art piece at their animal control center, and I'm thinking,
Oh, my.
holy moly, I wish we
got a lot
had
of
a
money
little
down there.
piece of
Wish we
that.
had Disney money.
Well, is that Orlando or
Corporate
South
sponsors.
Miami?
Orange County, it was Orange County.
Orange
That's-
County is
that's-
Miami.
That's,
No, that's
Oh, that's
Orlando
Orlando,
area.
Disney
Orlando.
money.
Disney money.
That's Disney money.
Yeah.
whether that's a percent for art or a
Yep.
flat,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they've got
Well, that's
money
something
to
that we
burn.
have to kind of come up with, if that figure is realistic or not. I'm not.
That would be a great amount
Well,
to
I
raise.
think if you use it as maybe a guideline for public art, we spend $38,000 on the piece that's at the sports complex. So if you use that 30,000-ish number as kind of a guideline, that's probably about the size of a project for Oldsmar, honestly.
Right, and that was about what we spent at Ari Olds.
What's that?
That's about what we spent.
was
at
it? Oh,
Ari
okay.
Olds Murals,
Yeah.
yeah, about that.
Are you looking at getting these corporate sponsorships for a specific piece once we
Both.
choose it?
Both.
Or,
One of them is corporate sponsorships, and that's usually project-oriented.
right,
And then funding is just general funding,
So
for the
what-
general funding.
so what are the corporate sponsorships funding? Are they funding this committee? I mean, you said there's one is projects, so that one's clear, but the
Yeah.
one that's not projects, what are they funding?
They're going to be funding general pieces that we go out and put together. And we're going to do it on I'll get to that, but we're going to do it on a tier basis, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you, thank you.
So the target corporations are local businesses, restaurants, real estate, retail, regional, national corporations, banks, tech firms, healthcare providers, and then CSR-focused companies. And I've kind of started putting together a list of these. And for example, I have a list of the 60 largest companies in Oldsmar. Okay, and these are going to be mostly
homework,
your national,
Michael.
regional type companies.
Oh, tell us the top 10.
Well, I don't have them, by the top 10, but just to give you an idea, United Health Group, Lockheed Martin,
No, they're not technically within the city limits, but
yeah.
They-
Tata Consulting Services, Metro PCS, Nielsen, but Nielsen, I don't know if it's still here. Nielsen was here, but I don't know if they are. Wells Fargo Bank, Andritz, Paycheck,
Microlumen,
Microlumens.
Microlumen.
they have donated so much to us.
Yeah.
Well, to the city.
Microlumen is definitely on there. SRI Surgical, yeah. Ulta, AMC Woodlands.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they-
yeah,
no,
yeah, oh,
Those
yeah.
are types of, potential types of companies, okay? And then I also segmented them, okay? So what we do here,
I'm sorry, I have a question. Do they have to be within the city limits? Or could it just be within 34677?
The businesses
three,
we're
four,
going
six, seven,
against.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
yeah.
I would think that anywhere in Oldsmar, you would.
yes. anywhere in
So,
Oldsmar.
because the piece is gonna be in,
Yeah.
somewhere in Oldsmar, it might not be within the city. Can we put art outside the city limits?
Why would we?
Not on private
Well,
property.
you mean-
We cannot put anything on private property.
but-
We
so
can't
we
even
would
go
just have
on
to get
private
the-
property to do work
We'd have to get the permission of the owner.
of the property.
Of
owner,
that
yeah.
property owners, because for instance, Lockheed Martin, that's not city of Oldsmar, so
Right.
we would have to have Lockheed Martin say, yes, we'll give you $50,000, but we want something in front of our place, and then we got the permission and we got the money right there. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine,
great,
yeah,
great,
yeah.
okay, thank you for clarifying
So
that.
are these art projects near those businesses, or are these art projects like in the?
On the
public?
project side, they could very well be.
Okay.
Okay, if you get a big donor coming in and say, yeah, I'm willing to give you 25,000, but like he says, I want to have it here and I want it to do this. you
Right.
know. So those are the larger type projects.
Gotcha. But then if it's in front of the business, wouldn't it make sense for them to just fund their own like their own art, if that makes sense?
But would they do it if we didn't come to them
Yeah,
and
that's
ask
the
them,
thing,
let's
yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about like asking a corporation to be like, oh, let's make a piece of art, but it's on your property. It sounds
Well,
like.
no, that's not what we're going to do.
Oh, okay,
Right,
gotcha.
that's
I just
probably
wanted
what
to
they would
clarify.
want.
No, we're going to ask them for money to
Okay,
fund our project.
Got it.
Okay, if they come back and say, hey, we like your idea, but we want to do this.
Right.
got it.
Let's say good luck.
Yeah, that'll be
Like
great.
John Views, this piece that's going, this project that's going up by the library, Odeon Center. John was on the board when we were picking the angel wings, when we picked the angel wings. Well, he liked one of the art pieces so much, the Oldsmar O bench, that he's putting it on the corner. He's doing it and funding it, and he's gonna put it there. So that's a business that already is gonna do an art piece and
Yeah.
incorporate it into, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, on Racetrack Road, where they have those brand-new, huge storage facilities that are right across from the,
I don't go west or east of Oldsmar City Hall.
anyway, they're
So
right
I don't know
across the
anything
street
over
from
there.
from the horse racetrack.
There's brand-new storage
Yeah,
units there?
huge storage facilities there. They've just completed. And I see that they didn't put any art there.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that they were supposed to do something like that or give them
No,
money. there.
it's not a law, it's a suggestion.
Yeah.
We ask, if they'll do it, but they don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, I did,
Oh, I'm sorry, you're
Yeah.
still talking. Christopher looked like he had a question.
I do, but I'll let you.
yeah. And then what I did is I started segmenting the businesses that we have in Oldsmar by industry. So for example, hotels, we have 3 hotel chains in Oldsmar. Restaurants, there's 77 restaurants in Oldsmar. Supermarkets, 4. Delis, bakeries, 4. DIY, 4. Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, Famous Tate. These are all potential things. Retail, Beals, Five Below, Marshalls, Ross. hospitals and clinics, pharmacies, nursing and senior living. There's 20 doctors, there's 15 dentists, there's probably 10 lawyers, all of these in lawyer, and just on and on and on by segment. And the idea there maybe is to put together targeted funding pitches or marketing programs for those industries. So we'll go after the 10 dentists, kind of make it a competition.
The tooth.
Yeah, yeah. And, kind of make it into a competition or something, and then, it might work, I don't know, but it's an idea. And let me see.
Cool, though. I love the way you're thinking.
Now, the sponsorship package, and this is up for a thing. I have the gold tier, which is the most expensive, as 5,000 plus. The silver tier is 2,000 to 4,999. And the bronze tier, which is the least expensive, is $100 to $1,999. I'm thinking that the bronze tier is probably going to be a lot of your local industries, like maybe your dentists or things like that. They might come up with more, but I'm thinking,
So are you thinking, let's say you get multiple sponsors for one project? Or,
for the project, the large projects, but this is just for the general fund.
Oh,
This is
okay.
just funding, not really project-oriented.
I got you.
I do think that we need to take one step back, and that is, this is not a fundraising board, and nor should it be. If this group decides, or if individuals from this group decide that they want to go out and fundraise, then we need to form a 501c3, similar to the Friends of the Library, and then those funds can go, because otherwise this gets very complicated and very, because this board cannot go out and, on behalf of the city, solicit money. You could do it on behalf of a foundation, but not, so that's another step in the process. Now, sponsorship, there are precedents for people sponsor special events, people sponsor, a float in the parade, whatever it is. That, a sponsorship of a specific project is a little bit different than just general fundraising. So I think the two things need to be separated. One thought that I had when we talked about leasing, there is a potential, and Chris, you may be able to comment on this, that I've seen it in some other cities where they will have leased artwork, and then they will go out and talk to various companies about, wouldn't you like to purchase this on a permanent basis so that it becomes part of the regular collection? Did you have any success with that in Clearwater, or did
Whenever-
you try to, that may not have been the goal?
We tried.
Okay,
There were no bites.
no bites, okay.
Especially when we had something that was the colors of the organization. Publix, this one's nice and green, wouldn't you like to have this one? And
Yeah,
no bites.
It wasn't.
It's very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I would just caution as far as when it comes to art and sponsorships, to maintain, because we are the public art board, to make sure that the public's interest is not getting supplanted by the interest of the sponsor. And I would also say the city may have some restrictions on how a sponsor is recognized. I don't know. But those things would need to be investigated so that we can confidently go and say, this is what your money will get you.
There's a lot of groundwork.
Yeah.
There's a lot of groundwork that needs to be
We had some luck with that in Creative Pinellas, but what I'm thinking is it was the hotels, but it was also inside, inside their buildings.
And that's a little tricky, yeah.
So we would definitely have to go the route of the 501c?
I think if anybody wants to raise money, general money for art, that the city would probably require a 501c3.
And that's a lot of work. Does anybody run a 501(c)(3)? I have. Barbara has. I bet Chris has.
No, I haven't.
I have. It's a lot of work. It'd be better to do the sponsorship route, I think, like Sherwin giving the paint, or the inn giving the hotel. I mean, but if you want to do it,
Well, do we have any alternatives? I mean, are we gonna
Apparently-
live, we don't even know if we're gonna get 30,000 on a yearly basis. So,
I think we can be pretty sure we're only gonna get it on an every other
every
year
other,
basis.
Yeah.
get it every other.
so that means we do have to go out and get some funding if we wanna do anything.
Well, and it does take a while, like, we can do something pretty nice, I mean, it's not gonna be as big as the, the sculpture, or as, as big as the murals, but for 23,000, we can get something nice, and it takes a while to go through the process of doing the.
It took a year and a half.
Yeah, to do the call to
from
artists, to
the
do the,
concept to actually having it installed, because by the time you do all the public input,
Right.
and you appoint a committee, and you have, you had to do the call for artists, and then all the different things that have to be presented at a council meeting and approved by the council. Because I started in May of 2021, the process had been started in January, the previous January, and it wasn't in the ground until November of '23, I'm forgetting but I'm pretty sure that's right. It took almost 2 years for that whole process.
and by then, hopefully, the next round of the 3840 will be waiting for us, because supposedly, we have a line item in the budget every 2 years. So by the time we get this one done, we hopefully would have another round that we can start over again.
I think it's an easier lift to try to get sponsors for a project also. The, raise money for a fund is so amorphous, what people are getting for their contribution. However, I'm going to modify that. As we get rolling and are more successful and have great projects, and the projects get written up in the press and everything like that,
Right, we'd have to create momentum. yeah.
then you
Right.
might want to look at that. But I think if we don't really have anything on the table yet, we don't have proof of concept.
Right.
For people to feel like, yeah, I'll contribute to a fund. But I think, future, it's always good to think about the future today.
So at least at this point, concentrate on corporate sponsorships?
I would do that.
Because I'm thinking, all right, let's say we do 2 leasing projects this year, okay? And it uses up, I don't know, 18,000 of our budget, or whatever. It uses up the whole budget.
That's a typical city budget. You use it all up. Don't let any be left over.
Okay, we already have to renew, we have to renew those leases the next year, okay, which we're not gonna have money for. So we're gonna have money somehow.
As far as with the temporary pieces, project-based, would you like to participate in the initial inaugural Oldsmar Sculpture Walk, or whatever it's named? Would you like to sponsor a sculpture? $2,000-3,000.
Right.
For a large organization that's national, they might jump in on that, because it's,
Right.
That's our piece right there.
Right.
I think we have to start small. So something like that, where it's like, okay, they can sponsor a sculpture for a year.
Right.
That sounds like
Then they'd have their
doable.
logo on, right
Yeah.
there.
Because even just from seeing like the different businesses in the area and how they interact with the city, there seems to be a lot of great local businesses that are willing to put a couple thousand into something. Like with Jason Nastasi's place, and they do the car show that they do up in Lutz. Like, they could totally do something that's here. That's not necessarily the car show, but it could be sponsoring a sculpture, right? I think starting small, and then just like how you're saying, as momentum builds,
So
it gets bigger.
an idea popped into my head. I was thinking about Don Gianella, who did the wings, the angel wings. He has a lot of, I promise you, he has a lot of sculptures just lying around.
Yeah.
But there's quite a number of artists in the Pinellas region or the Tampa Bay region, maybe we spread it out that big, who probably could be convinced to work very reasonably on a temporary art. I wouldn't call it lease with them. I would call it a temporary installation, because they're part of this community, even though they're not just part of Oldsmar. But then I was thinking about your question about, do we ever sell? That's part of why you don't call it a leasing program, and that's part of why I think if we were using regional artists, somebody like Mark Ailing, there's, you know, and if they have to take it back after a year, that's okay. But if they can display it, and then perhaps that they will see that as almost like a gallery where they're selling. And then we could take a percentage of the sale. You know, gallerists take 50% now. We wouldn't want to take that much, but we could take some, right?
Really, if somebody were interested in buying a piece that we had on lease, they would ask, they would see who the artist is, they would contact the artist, and they would offer to buy it. So we don't have to sell it.
Right, but if we have that arrangement with the artist.
Yeah.
We instituted something like that, and there's a few artists who sell pieces a lot that we have in their public, at the hotels, let's just say that. And they agreed to give us a percentage of their sale because we run the program.
But would that fall into us needing a 501(c) at that point?
You know,
Probably.
right now, when we do the exhibits at City Hall, I'm just gonna use that as an example. The artist puts a name tag on there, and if they're interested in selling it, they put a price, and they put their website, and we say, if somebody wants to buy it, they call the artist, and they negotiate the sale, and if it sells and the person wants it right away, the artist is responsible for replacing the empty spot on
Yeah.
the wall.
Yeah.
But other
I've
than
bought
that,
pieces at
we
City
don't
Hall.
get involved
Yeah.
at all, other than promoting art.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, what you're saying, Barbara, could kind of work the same way. I don't think we want to become middlemen
Right.
for.
Can we
I
make-
agree,
I agree.
I agree.
Can we make a suggestion, like if we do the lease and then someone buys, I don't know how the contract would work with the artist, but if your piece then sells after its time here, you would make a donation in kind to the art boarder.
Yeah, something
That's a
like
good
that.
Not a
idea too.
requirement,
That's a
but
good idea
we
too.
would appreciate a donation in kind if your piece sells after being here.
And that's also part of the reason I'm thinking regional artists, because there already is a relationship and a connection, even if it's not a direct one yet.
Yeah, I
So-
think on the starting base, we should definitely go regional, yeah, rather than.
And then, you know, they can put it on the truck and bring it over.
It's far easier to go from South County to North County than from Atlanta down here.
We did that with Don Giulianella in the Botanical Gardens, and we figured out, you know, he brought his people, and he stuck it in his beautiful, he had a horse and a fish and stuff like that.
Did you have to prepare the site, or?
Well, no, not for his. The way he works, they're almost self-installing. But, and then, you know, we had the plaque for him and so that he could sell it. But because he's a local and we're local, there was a lot of easy give and take rather than the whole call process and whatever.
Okay, very good.
Thank you for
So,
doing all that work.
So I'm thinking now, though, I mean, to kind of bring this all together. So we're thinking about doing sponsorships rather than generalized funding, at least at this point in time.
I think so.
And we're thinking of starting small, so maybe one or two projects or something like that to.
I think what we probably need to do is do some more reflecting and actually sit down and write a plan for what we want to see happen. You know, similar to what we did with the master plan, you know, the art master plan, because there's a lot of ideas floating around. There's a lot of movable parts here and interchangeable parts. And I don't know about anybody else, but I like to sort of have this roadmap of where we're going. And, you know, we can have some detours along the way, but I think that idea of sort of putting pen to paper, then we all have a chance to kind of reflect on it and think about it and come up with some additional ideas, but that's what I would suggest, that we not try and quantify how many projects or how much money, but really look at the process that we want to use for doing this whole thing. But maybe I'm just a process person.
But I think along those lines, then, our thought process, maybe we want to go down the road of looking at doing the leasing projects, if we can, bring in corporate sponsors, and using the money that the board has to do the site prep, the plaques, whatever we need to do to have those pieces in place, and kind of start our roadmap in that direction.
That sounds like a reasonable.
Well, that kind of brings us to the last idea on the agenda is ideas for new art projects for '26.
We have money.
And I've put together a couple that I think might be. Leasing, obviously, is something that we've been discussing and is, I think is one of the better ideas for us, at this stage in our growth. But I wanted to possibly do elementary school wall murals by the fifth graders. I was hoping that Judith would be here because she was going to find out for me, if that's something that would be appealing to them, because we have the two elementary schools. When we lived in Clearwater, my son went to the Clearwater Elementary School, and they had a wall outside where everybody was. And every year, the fifth graders would start the year painting it over, preparing it, and then they'd do a mural, okay? And that was their project for the year. And everybody loved it. The parents came, everybody loved it, the press came.
Became a tradition.
And it was very cheap. It was very cheap to do. We could get Sherwin-Williams, I'm sure, will sponsor the paint.
Well, the thing about Sherwin-Williams is they have so much per year to donate.
Okay, well,
Once they get to that point, they can't donate anymore. They're allowed so much money. We just got lucky.
yeah. And these would be projects that the elementary school art teachers would run. So they would be responsible for, deciding on the topic, deciding on, finding out what the costs are, so we could reimburse them.
Well, now that Judith isn't going to be on the board, you can call her.
That's true.
No
I
sunshine
don't have her
law.
number, though.
No sunshine law violation.
No, it's not. It's not.
I don't have her number, though. Do you have a number for her?
We have it on file. We have Judith's number.
Yes, we have her information.
Yeah, okay. I get that then. This is another one that I had proposed before, some sort of iconic Oldsmobile plaques for residential and commercial properties. Unfortunately, Oldsmobile doesn't exist anymore, so we can't get a corporate sponsorship there. So this would have to be on our own dime, or else we could maybe raffle them off. We can say, would you be interested in this? If so, it will cost you a certain amount of money to put them up. The other one is the art leasing, which we've been discussing. One is doing something with the corner room of the library.
Oh, yeah. The room that,
That's a beautiful room.
it is. And I don't know if you all, if you remember when we went on that little tour, that's that little space in the back that's
Not,
it's
doesn't-
nasty
yeah.
right now.
Is that the place that's like half outside, half inside?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's the spot we're talking about. I think that, yeah.
But that would be pretty easy to do, I would think, and would be low cost.
Yeah.
I would think. We'd have to decide,
Not air conditioned, that I know.
Yeah, we'd
So
have to put a
that-
fan in there.
That could be a huge problem, but, which is probably why it's not used right now, in Florida.
No
most of
heat
the year.
either.
But we could certainly explore what that would take, yeah.
And then one other one was possibly doing restaurant wall space for artists, is going to the different restaurants around and say, hey, would you be willing to have a wall or a couple walls in your restaurant to sponsor local artists or artists in there? And that would cost us nothing. It's kind of similar to what you're doing here at the
Just-
City
yeah.
Hall. Yeah,
It's time,
yeah.
and plenty of it. Yeah.
But those, I just did those just because they're cheaper to do,
Right.
so to fit into our budget. I don't know if anybody else had any ideas.
Well, one thing, I did bring the the master plan with me, because I thought we should maybe take a look at that, because we identified sites that we thought were the most important sites where we wanted to have things. And if you'll indulge me for a moment, for our short-term objectives, we had, establish a public art advisory board. Check,
Yay!
yay, did that, okay. Recommend policies and procedures for donations, check, we did that, okay. Develop policies and procedures to ensure quality and fair artist selection, we've done that. Develop guidelines for community input, we've done that. Develop materials for the planning department to discuss with the developers as they review plans to encourage participation in public art, since we have no requirement to do public art. I've been doing a little bit of research on that and have a few ideas about what we might put in a brochure, but we need to do something to get that in front of the people who meet with developers, at least so that they can have something to say, think about this. We can't require it anymore, but that's something we still need to work on. Develop a plan for leasing artwork as a strategy for expansion of our collection, so that's in our short-term goals. Recommend a site for the next public art project, which is what we're talking about. Monitor the development of the town center city hall site, which is still in development, but it's getting closer every day, for addition of public art. So I'm hopeful that we will include, it's similar to what happened at the library site.
So you're talking about this
The city
land.
hall site.
Right.
I don't know, whatever
Yeah,
direction
similar
it
to
is
for
over
Odeon
there.
Square, right.
Yes, and then the last was to establish an annual arts week or month through proclamation to develop interest. Now, which would,
Can we do that?
one of the things
Yeah,
we
we
could
did.
do, if we decide on a project and we decide on a leasing strategy and we can get all the balls in motion, that would be a wonderful thing to unveil at our
October, yeah.
now, whether we have enough time, that's probably, if it might have to be the following year that we actually do it, but or we move the month, there's nothing sacred about the fact that we chose October, I think kind of randomly, because we wanted to make a statement, so we could, move that, but those are the things that we said we wanted to accomplish in the first 2 years, and I think we're on
Doing
track.
good.
I think we are, we're
Forgot the
we're ahead
maintenance.
of the
You
game.
forgot
the maintenance plan.
program.
The maintenance program, yes, that wasn't even in, but we just knew we had to do it,
Right.
So, I just wanted to bring that up to bring that to everybody's attention.
Would it be good to look at what the top 4 or 5 sites were?
I will tell you what they were, in just a second.
Funny I asked that.
Funny that you asked that question. Let's see, where is I gotta find the right page, hold on. Funding, final thoughts. Wait a minute, hold on, I'll find it, just a sec, it's gonna take me a minute to find it. You can go on and discuss, as soon as I find it, we did a map. No, I'm not gonna be able to find it.
I think we should make it a goal.
Priority locations, okay,
We can
19.
get something done by October.
19.
I mean, we're talking what, 9 months?
Okay, the priority locations for public art, as defined by the master plan, the medians on Park, Bayview, and Lafayette. Those are those big, wide medians, okay? The trails, there's a Cypress Forest to Ariold, Sheffield to St. Petersburg Drive, Lafayette, Tampa. There's a variety of trails, and then the parks. Those were so medians, then the trails, then the parks. There was a lot of discussion, as I recall, in the task force about trails. Some people said, oh, nobody uses them. Somebody else said, everybody uses them. So there was a lot of discussion about that. I think some trails are used more than others, that's clear. But the medians were the biggies, and that might lend itself to a leasing program, because you could engage neighborhoods. It'd be a great way to get clusters or pockets of support for art in each of those areas that you do. And even if you did one in the Park median, one in the Lafayette, and one at Bayview, that would give a lot of visibility to. So thank you for asking that question, Barbara.
Yeah.
Are those all city maintained?
Yes, those are owned by the city, maintained by the city, controlled by the city, so we can do what we want in those, and they're wide enough that we should not have any issues with traffic or obstructions or anything.
And when we were visiting, didn't you say that those medians were very sunny, and so we could use solar lighting?
We were able, we were able to do solar lighting, on the thing at the, sports complex, and it saved a bundle of money. Because if we have to run electric, there'll be thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, because you have to do under the road bores, and it's a nightmare. So, but yeah, we should be able to do solar lighting. Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great. Even in the wintertime, the solar, yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know, I have landscape lighting that's all solar at my house, and except for those rare occasions when we have a day or two where it's just overcast, they come on every night, you know, they're plenty bright.
Well, what about, I think we should have a goal to have something done this year.
Yes.
Well,
gotta-
we're
we
gonna
gotta
have
have
the
some momentum
restorations,
going.
we're gonna have the restorations done, and we might be able to get the
No,
leasing.
new art.
Oh, new art, well,
New art.
so we have to decide, then what you're saying, at that point, we have to decide, do we wanna do a leasing program, or do we wanna do another project? Cause we got 22 to 23,000.
Yeah.
Do we want a new one, or do we wanna go forward with leasing? So that would be something we would have to decide,
That's a
because we can't do
decision that
both.
This board would
I
need
like
to
the idea of the leasing. I feel like that gets our feet wet. And we're not jumping in the deep end, you know, because this is also new, I think. I mean, obviously, a lot of people, you have way more experience, but I think for this committee, it seems like it would make sense just to start like little baby steps. And then I think that would get the ball rolling, like if we were able to lease something, that'll get people excited, like, oh, there's something going on. Gets a little more momentum going for the next project and the next project. That would be my thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Would that be something that we would need to have as an agenda item, or is that something that we can decide now, or?
I think this board could make a motion that that's the direction that you want to go. I think we would come back, I would want to come back with more information and a better thought out kind of plan for how the process might work. And then we just keep the ball rolling from there, if that's.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, give us some time to do some research, to look into the stuff that Christopher has come up with, so that we can make an informed decision at the next meeting. Yeah?
And the benefit of a leasing program, I know that's the formal name, the sculptures are generally, they're already made,
Yeah.
right? So we get ahead of ourselves in terms of time.
Yeah.
And to that point, I know some of you know Clayton Swartz, who's a local artist.
Clayton's
And
stuff is
I
gorgeous.
happen to drive by his studio all the time. And he has, pads out in front, and every once in a while a piece disappears or a piece comes back. So I know he's somebody who has sculpture locally that he'd probably love for it to be
He would
making a
love
little bit of
to
money
do it.
insteed of sitting on his
Don't you think,
property. I
Christopher?
suspect that
Oh,
there are
Clayton
other
would do it in a
artists
heartbeat,
that are like that.
yeah, yeah.
Well, is there anybody on the board that does not want to do leasing?
I'm
as a
gonna be
start?
honest, I wanna do some more research on it, because it's that versus another permanent installation. And we've got the 22 to 23,000, will we get more after that? I don't know. So I'd wanna put some more thought into it, because, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, no offense.
I'm taken.
I think it's
I think
worth-
I'm more,
Oh, go ahead.
no, Jim, please.
I think it's worth opening the door to it.
I do
Because I have
too.
a feeling that like this is gonna open the most beautiful can of worms with like so many different pieces of art that could go on those medians and other places. And I think the leasing project specifically could go hand in hand with the sponsorships too. Because if we have like a tangible piece of art that we know is gonna go somewhere, and we know the value of that art, we can bring that to a specific corporate sponsorship. And even though we have the budget for it, it could potentially become a sponsored piece. And then that money becomes free, and then we could do like a new piece of art, you know?
And I would also like to do some asking and a little bit of research into the line item in the budget to see, you know, when is
Well-
the next budget meeting? Do you know when the next budget meeting is?
There are there are so many unknowns in this year's budget
Because of
because
the
of.
hurricanes.
No.
Property
Because of
tax. Oh,
property taxes.
Right.
That I don't think we're going to get a straight answer or a commitment of any kind until
After
well
that's
into
done.
the year, because everything is in flux.
Everything is in flux, right?
Everything is in
So
flux.
that would be another reason why we need to put some more thought into it, because if we don't get any more, if they do away with property taxes, then we're done. I mean, I don't even
I
think.
think we have to assume, that may happen.
I don't
We
think-
may not get the money. So we're
Yeah.
gonna have to have some
Right,
alternative
so we
sources.
assume we don't get the money, so therefore that makes it an even bigger decision. What are we gonna do with that 22 to 23,000? That's why I want more time.
I think you love the energy, and I agree with you about that. You love the energy of creating something, and then it's belongs to Oldsmar.
Yeah.
And it is designed, so it's funny because the strength of the leasing program in terms of time, the sculpture art exists, it's not designed for Oldsmar. So it's a trade-off, but if it's designed for Oldsmar, then that whole ownership issue may be even stronger.
Yeah, so I just think we need to put more
A
thought
lot of
into it.
trade-offs in it.
Yeah.
Well, can we at least narrow it down to either
Well,
an art project that we own or a leasing project?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's at least do that, yeah.
Okay. I will make
We
that
gotta get this
motion.
thing moving or it's never gonna go anywhere,
Well, we'll have it on the next agenda item.
Yeah, well, next agenda, we're gonna make a decision on one of the two.
I think so,
Okay.
Don. I think
So
can
we
do
have
that.
to come
Can
up
we do that?
with what pros and minuses on both?
I will attempt in the next couple months, we have a few other things to do, to get with Christopher and we talk some more about what has to be involved in this process, and at least have an outline of
Yes.
what are the things that, that we need to consider and steps and that, and we can flesh it out as we go along. But I would.
Sorry, do we have some of the bullet points from the last project that went to the sports complex? Kind of like just the big points of the time frame and the budget, and for those of us that weren't involved in that, to compare then the leasing project to what a full installation of one we own is like.
I missed the first part of what you said, I'm sorry.
Just having some, if we're gonna look at the pros and cons next time, can we have some of the main bullet points of what went into the Canal Park sports one?
Oh,
You
sure.
know, kind of the timeframes
Oh,
and
sure,
the
sure, sure.
budget
Yep,
money.
yep,
and
okay,
that,
I
just so
understand.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
compare what does a project we own look like versus what a leasing project looks like.
Got it, yeah.
Can I ask a money clarification question? And I apologize if I missed this somewhere. So you're saying the 23,000-ish, right? And it's maybe every 2 years. So is it last year and this year, or is it this year and next year?
The
was last-
$30,000 was rolled over from last year, so it's in this year's budget, because we established the board, we did the task force, we did the plan, that was all done in the previous year. So next year, 27.
27 would be
there
the
won't
next.
There won't be a line item, it would be
Okay.
28, so.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
And
you.
originally, what the city manager and I talked about is $30,000 every other year.
Okay, I was
October
thinking it was
1.
30 in 2025, and then it would be hypothetically 30 in 2027.
That would be sweet, but it sounds like they didn't make that decision.
Right.
Is there any chance to change that, or?
Well, here's why, it all depends on the property taxes, and if we go to the budget meeting, when the city council has the budget meeting and advocate for it, we have a better chance of getting the money if we go to the meeting. It's usually in that room right there, and the public can talk, and we can all go to the meeting and get up and say, please give us the money again. I'll do it. So,
And when is that?
I don't know.
I have to look at the schedule, I don't know, because I'm not involved in those.
Yeah, so we'll just have to look that up.
So it's 26 and 28, so it's even numbered years, not odd numbered.
Well, since it was a rollover, it's not always that, it is this time because they decided not to do, yeah. So, yeah.
So maybe, since it was a rollover, maybe we do get it in.
Well,
I don't think there's a tinker's chance, to be perfectly honest with you.
Because then we could roll it over for like 3 years and have $90,000.
Nice try, but I don't
and
think
in the
so.
city's defense, they also have all of the expenses from the hurricanes.
Yeah.
They have not recovered from that,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So.
tough. Okay, so we're agreed on that. All right, we're gonna go forward with finding out about the two projects.
Yeah.
Okay, either leasing or,
Yeah.
cell phone.
Owned, yeah.
Yes, and it'll be on our,
And you're gonna put together the procedures, or?
I'm gonna put together an outline with Christopher's help of
Okay.
what we need to do, what we need to consider, all the components of what that process or a leasing program might look like for Oldsmar.
and then a timeline for Canal Park. Just to show what it took to get Canal Park to that point.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Right.
And so we're gonna vote on that in March.
On the direction you wanna go.
Yes,
Yeah.
on one of the, one
Yes.
of the two.
Yep.
Okay. And is that gonna give us enough time, do you think, to get it done by October?
Probably not,
It might,
We do leasing, it probably
we
should.
do leasing it well.
maybe. It's a definite maybe.
Yeah.
It's a definite maybe.
How many sign-offs do we need on it once we get started?
More than I know about right now.
Yeah, that's probably.
Okay. All right. Is there any other comments that we need to address?
I'd like to make a few, if you guys don't
Yeah.
mind. Okay, I just looked at the flights, and it looks like, Joan, that she leaves on February 19th at 2:14, so that means she'd have to be at the airport by noon. So if we did any kind of get-together, it would either have to be Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, but I'm thinking Wednesday afternoon would be better, because then she's not scrambling to, get to the airport and all of that. Because her flight leaves at 2:14 on the 19th. So that's for you, that's information for you.
Okay.
The other thing I want to do is I would like to inform everybody that a person that was very instrumental in art in the city of Oldsmar, she was the one that that headed up the murals on the water tanks back in the day. She runs the theater, the dance group. Her name is Suda Yantis Cologne, and I would like to ask everybody to pray for her, because it's on Facebook, so I'm not giving any personal information that she doesn't already have out there, but she's going through chemotherapy right now. And and so if she was instrumental in arts in Oldsmar, so if everybody could pray for her, that would be wonderful. And go Noel, our first project is coming up, so please come, all of you, please come, because we're not gonna have a meeting until after this is done. So please come and hang out with us, paint a butterfly.
I have an alternate question. So since I've moved up into this spot, do we need to find another alternate?
Oh, good question.
Yes, that's already,
Yes, so
You're already on.
illustrious clerk here already has that under
moving
control.
up of you, you're moving up from alternate to regular is up for council, on the council agenda for approval on February 3rd. And then after that, we're already advertising for the alternate position. And then at your next meeting, we'll invite the applicants that we have, from the older applications and whoever applies from now and until then. And it'll be the same process as when you elected Jim. So it will be your board's recommendation, it'll go up to the council.
So that will happen in March, in our next meeting?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So would like to come on the 3rd, if anybody wants to come to the council meeting on February 3rd to watch Wendy get approved in, because that's when she gets voted on at the city council, February 3rd.
And Wendy, it's not required, but if you would like to come,
I will take a look and see if I can.
We sure hope they approve you,
o'clock.
Wendy.
I sure hope so, y'all. 'Cause I am instrumental in this.
Are.
I have a request for you, Jennifer. Can you send out to us or me, if nobody else cares, needs it, but the hours for, the days and the hours for painting with Noel?
I need to get with
Yeah,
Noelle on that,
yeah.
because I don't know when she wants to start in the morning and when she wants
Okay,
to work
once you
into.
have it, can.
Yes, I will,
Can you send it to
Absolutely.
us?
Please
Let
forward
us
it to
know.
me and I'll.
I shall, I
Because
shall.
I
with the
won't,
board.
I won't be able to be there if I don't get a
Right,
message like
right,
that
right.
when it is.
I know that we're gonna talk tomorrow. Noelle and I will talk tomorrow. So, and then I'd also, afterwards, I'll get your phone, your cell, so that we can text, Wendy can text you and you can text me maybe.
And everybody can text everybody, yes, yes, that'd be fine.
Oh, I
And
have-
I'm sure Noelle wouldn't mind
Well, I
texting
think
you guys
if,
all.
if you know this, if you have the schedule from Noel, Jen, you can send it out to all the board members.
Yes.
So then everybody will have it,
Text
and that'll
anybody.
take care of all that.
Okay,
care of it.
okay, okay,
That's what I was
okay.
asking for.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
I just had one final thing. Do you need any help on the bronze sculptures?
I do it so intermittently that it's really hot, it's like, is it too cold, too hot, too rainy, this? Do I have meetings today? I appreciate the offers, but honestly, I do it just kind of catch as catch can. And I'm under no real pressure to have it finished. I'm on my fourth one.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. So, yeah, we'll get a few more good years out of them,
Well, if you do need help, just shout.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
And I was gonna say, as
awesome.
far as the next meeting, I won't be able to be here because we already had travel planned before we made the schedule. So I don't know, like, who do I tell that I'm not gonna be here?
You just did.
I just did, there you go. It's all recorded and everything.
Okay, I guess that wraps it up. Shall we
So-
close it up? All right.
Sure, you get to
Dang.
do that, yay!
Good job.
You are a really, really,
Good
really
job.